I'm just live on our News Hour programme, Simon, and just talking about this school which has ran into trouble because they haven't invited a member of a different faith to an assembly. Just give us the details then in regards to this, Simon. What has the school actually done wrong?
Well, of course, the details are not yet public, but the gist is simply that this is a Christian school with Christian pupils, Christian teachers, and a Christian ethos. And Ofsted inspectors have come in and said to them, no, unless you have leaders of other religions come in and lead your school assemblies, your collective worship, then you are not meeting the government's new standards for tolerance and equality.
Why has the school not been named, Simon?
Because the school is still reeling from the surprise and the shock of what's happened to them, and they are making their decision about how, whether and when to go public with the details. But they have been in touch with us. We are helping them as much as we can, and they were content for us to make a certain amount of the detail public because they realise that what's happening is very serious.
The reason I ask, Simon, because surely this affects a lot of Christian schools. It's not just one. I just wonder why this one school has been targeted.
Well, that's the thing. It's not just that one. I mean, we were predicting at the beginning of the summer that if the government brought in these new regulations, that you would have, with the enforcement of political correctness, you would have a certain hostility to the religious and even ethical viewpoints of religious schools. The Department for Education said, no, you're exaggerating, it'll never happen. Since then, what we're finding is case after case where that's exactly what's happening. I mean, there's a Roman Catholic school in Bury St Edmunds, St Benedict's. It's one of the best performing schools in the region. Last year, it tied for first place in national league tables over the proportion of pupils going to Oxbridge. They received one of these no-notice inspections from Ofsted, and they were told that this school, with mainly Catholic students in this sort of leafy part of East Anglia, was not doing enough to tackle extremism and radicalisation. And it was so ridiculous that when the school publicised the report, Ofsted actually said, well, actually, could you not publicise it for now while we review this? But, I mean, that's just one example. You have a series of inspections at Jewish schools where inspectors have been asking the most inappropriate questions. For example, asking young girls at these Orthodox Jewish schools, do you have a boyfriend? Do you know how babies are made? Do you know any gay people? Do you know that two men can get married? Questions which made the girls feel quite afraid, really. And so there's clearly been a shift.
So I want to come to the government in just a second, but I want to focus on this idea of assemblies and whether schools should be forced to have people from other religions come in. Because, you know, Simon, a lot of people would say we're living in a multicultural society now, and having input from other religious leaders would be hugely beneficial to children. What do you say to that?
Yeah, of course. So the problem is the shift that's taken place here is from respecting people and understanding where they're coming from, which I think is a profoundly Christian approach, and the one which has been largely dominant up until now. Shifting to a new approach where you actually have to respect the content of different religions, the content of different lifestyles. And of course, if you have beliefs, you can't do that. You have your own set of beliefs, and you think that those beliefs are true because you take them from the Bible or whatever you take your beliefs from. And so you can't then pretend that you think that other beliefs are true as well if they're in conflict.
Can't we learn from people with other religions, though?
I think that's it's clear that people can learn from each other, of course, but that's not what these new regulations require. These new regulations appear to require that schools are actively promoting belief systems other than their own. And that's the problem. So, of course, we must respect people as people, and of course we can. It can be fascinating to hear from people with different perspectives, and you can sometimes find out that there are, things that you have in common that you didn't know about. But that's not what is going on here. Here, we're being told that in this case that we're highlighting, a Christian school, Christian ethos, Christian teachers, Christian pupils is being told, no, you have to have other religious leaders come in and teach you about religion, teach you, instruct you in their own religion. Now, many Christian families would simply not want to submit their young children to that. They would find it very confusing. The DFE has been saying we're not going to be requiring other children to take part in religious worship from traditions other than their own. But Ofsted seems to think that actually that's exactly what these new regulations mean.
Let me just quickly read the Ofsted statement that we've received this morning. It says, under Ofsted's revised guidance for the inspection of schools, inspectors now pay greater attention to ensuring that schools provide a broad and balanced education for their pupils so that young people are well prepared for the next stage in their education or for employment and life in modern Britain. Inspectors will consider the effectiveness of the school's provision for pupils' spiritual, moral, social and cultural development and how the school's leadership and management ensure that the curriculum actively promotes British values. This includes, among other factors, pupils' acceptance and engagement of different faiths and beliefs, and their understanding and appreciation of the range of different cultures within school and further afield. Simon, just quickly to finish, what are you wanting to happen as a result of this? Obviously, you're raising this as an issue. What's the best case outcome for you?
Well, just picking up on the wording of that statement, nobody can accept all faiths. I mean, should everybody accept Scientology, or should we be able to say that actually we think it's profoundly wrong? That's the problem with this kind of vague, warm and fluffy sort of wording that you're getting out of the DFE. What we need is for them to go back to the drawing board, to actually talk to stakeholders, talk to the faith schools, find out where they're actually coming from, and come up with a set of proposals which don't require them to promote beliefs which go profoundly against their own religious teachings.
Okay, so I need to stop there, but thank you so much for your time on the News Hour today. Really do appreciate that.